Press Play Lifestyle Inspired is a podcast that provides inspirational content on topics to help you find the resources, tools, and support that you need to be your best inspired self. I'm your host, Jackie Schwab, and you can find me at www.jackieschwab.com. Is avoidance always bad? Things people avoid that increase their ability to be happy. I remember being told not to avoid the inevitable or not to avoid doing what is right. Just rip off the Band-Aid, my mom would say. Eat the frog, said one book. Do the hard thing first. Don't avoid it. Yet, is avoiding something always bad? When is avoiding something good? Happy people don't just do things to be happy. Some of them avoid doing things as well. There's always a yin and a yang to nearly any generalization. This topic is the top 5 things that I avoid and I believe that help keep me happy. What do you avoid that makes you feel happy? I avoid dwelling on the past. I don't dwell on the past. Living in the past often leads us to be sad or depressed. Living in the future leads us to worry about things that we cannot in any way foresee. So yep, I avoid dwelling on the things in the past that no longer serve my desired state. This wasn't always the case, and that is how I know that it helps me be happier. I grew up one of those victimhood backstory kids that gave a lot of me and a lot of time and attention to my story. However, each time I told the story, I was reliving a past that was no longer serving me. I learned those lessons and it was time for me to move on. I don't avoid memories or talking about the past. I just avoid and stop wearing my victimhood suit like an Edgar suit. That's a Men in Black reference for those of you that don't watch the same shows I do. Number 2, I avoid dwelling on the future. Yeah, I get it. Similar to not dwelling on the past, I try not to worry about or dwell on the future. No one can tell the future, okay? I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure. So however I know what I cannot do, and what I cannot do is tell the future. So what good is worrying about something that may or may not even happen? Seems a bit fruitless to me. Plus, worry just makes me feel anxious, and I don't like being anxious. I try to live in the present moment, not in the past, and not in the future. And I know that this helps me because I didn't always do this either. I used to wish that I had a number of things, and I don't have many of them now. Yet, as I started living my life in the present moment, I realized I didn't even want the future that I had been so worried about losing. I gotta say, I didn't see that one coming. Yet, I'm happier for all the wishes and dreams that didn't come true because I was able to participate in my own life. Number 3. Avoid holding grudges. Now, of all the things I avoid, I will admit, in some cases, this one is the hardest one for me. I try to avoid holding grudges. When we avoid holding grudges, well, we feel better, right? But when we avoid forgiveness, this is one of those things we probably don't want to forget about. Forgiveness isn't something you give to someone. Forgiveness is something that you give yourself. You can release the terrible feelings when you allow forgiveness. So I make efforts to avoid holding a grudge. I spent nearly 30 years of my life being angry at my mom for the way that she parented me. I think many people can understand that, yet one day I realized that she parented me the best way she knew how. I forgave my mom, and in that moment my entire life changed. I was the one that needed the forgiveness, not her. She didn't think that she did anything wrong. She didn't even know that I was unhappy or mad at her. So the gift of forgiving her was really a gift to me. Can you think of anyone you might want to forgive? Avoiding the comparison trap. And this is one of the most important things to avoid. Social media can make it easy for us to compare ourselves to the highlight reel of everyone else's life. Our worst day is never going to compare to someone else's best day. Your current body isn't going to compare to your friend's photoshopped body. Your happiness is under your own control. The only comparisons you should make are between what you were and what you are, or between who you are and who you want to be. Luckily, I figured this one out earlier than most people. Everyone's unique, and that means there's not really a way to even compare one person to another. I feel that we're all given unique skills so that we can help others in our lives. I embrace my uniqueness as well as the uniqueness of others. So sure, sometimes I wish my butt was smaller, I wish I was a little more fit, but I can do something about it, and compare myself to others isn't going to help me or them. I avoid ignoring the positive. Yeah, sometimes we avoid the positive. I know it sounds odd, but we're wired to look for danger. We're wired for fight or flight. So we often don't even see the good things in our lives. The reason there's so much literature on keeping a gratitude journal is that it helps us force ourselves to see positive things in life that we should be grateful for. So I'm happier because I avoid ignoring all the beautiful blessings in my life. I started keeping a journal when I was a young kid. Journaling helped me stay sane when things felt crazy when I was a kid. And now that I'm older, I keep a gratitude journal. It helps me stay grounded and remember all the greatness that's around me. Are you forgetting about the positive things in your life? Might be time to stop ignoring them. I am not so naive to think that being happy or unhappy is 100% a choice for everyone. The human mind and emotions are significantly more complicated than that. Yet, if you can increase your happiness even a little bit by trying to live in the present moment and maybe avoiding a few things, wouldn't you try? If you'd like some support in building your happiness muscles, book a complimentary, i.e. free, discovery coaching session with me, and let's see if we can put a smile on your face. Check me out at calendly.com/JackieSchwab/discovery.